Hello, this is Jason P. Wilson, Zero in X-Force, and this is my comic pick of the week and honorable mentions for comics. All the comics that I've picked up between the dates of 1/1/12, January 1st, 2012, and January 18th, 2012. So, obviously, that's more than just 1 week, so I did want to still narrow it down. I didn't want to just post a bunch of honorable mentions and pick of the week, so I did narrow it down. I do want to mention real quick that these two comics, Catwoman number 5 and X-23 20, were extremely strong comics that are still honorable mentions. I'm not going to open up and show them here because I wanted to limit the number, but they definitely were honorable mentions and strong recommendations. Some of the best comics to be picked up this month, most definitely. But I did just want to focus on these particular ones. So first up here for my honorable mentions is Uncanny X-Force number 20. Now this is the one after the .1 issue. And this gets back to the main story, which is the trial of one of our favorite characters, and that's Phantom X. So, first of all, the first thing I just absolutely loved was the art. Now, first of all, it's very interesting what they're doing here, and that is basically any of you who follow Psylocke. She's one of my favorite X-Men, always has been. I loved her back when she was in her British form, and that I thought it was cool when she ended up going into the Asian assassin from the Hand and taking her body being changed and everything. I thought it was a very interesting thing to do with a great character, and it's been a while now since she's been in this form. But when I first started reading Psylocke, it was her real body, her British body, and so I loved her back then. I thought she was great. So first of all, with the story, basically she gets to choose. Her brother, Captain Britain, he gives her. He's actually in a situation now where he can help her get her body back, and I thought that was really cool. She now can choose what she wants to do. So I myself would love to see her go back to her original form. I know a lot of people want her to stay in her Asian assassin form. And that's fine, because I love her like that too. It's really the character herself that I really like. So whichever form she takes, it's not going to matter. I'm gonna really enjoy reading about her. But I think it would be cool. It's been a while now if she did go back to her original form. But that is really cool, and I thought that was a nice little side thing going on besides the trial, which is a sham trial, by the way. It's basically they want to hang all. They want him to be the scapegoat of this trial. So, but they get back to the artwork. The artwork, just look at this artwork. It's very watercolory. At the same time, it's still epic in scope. It's really unique. It's very unique, and I was absolutely loving it. I thought, especially for this particular story arc, I thought it fit it perfectly, and I really couldn't get enough of it. And I thought to myself, wow, can Uncanny X-Force do no wrong? Seriously, and they've done a lot of different things. The stories have been very diverse and different. The artwork has even been very drastically different, the styles. But for some reason, every single time Uncanny X-Force comes out, it works. It works, and it works so well. This was a great comic book, and even though it's not my pick of the week, it is such a strong honorable mention. Uncanny X-Force number 20 is a almost perfect comic, and I have been just loving every single issue of Uncanny X-Force. Definitely, I believe the best Marvel book that they put out. Absolutely. And next up here, for my honorable mentions, is Wonder Woman number 5. Now, I didn't make this very clear, but when I reviewed this in my comic lot posts. But basically, this is a big issue, mainly because it has a new artist. Now, the writer is still the same, but one of the defining things of the new Wonder Woman comic book for the new DCU, in my opinion, was the art style. The art style and the writing were perfect together. So, I really liked this comic. I thought it was great. I do want to make something clear, though. It is not better without that first artist. I'm blanking on the name right now, but I loved his art style. It's not as good. That art style was so strong, and it fit the writing so perfectly that there is a small part missing now without that. Now, this artist here, he does his best to emulate the style, but it's still good artwork, but coming off of what I think is some of the best artwork ever to be on Wonder Woman, it just doesn't have that same feel. It's still a really good comic, and but I think I oversold it a little bit, because if you hadn't read Wonder Woman before and you heard all the great things about that first story arc and you jump on here, you might like it and think it's great, but it definitely is missing some X factor that the original artist on the first story arc has. Now, this artist really tries to keep that same look, especially with the eyes. He's really trying to do Diana justice by keeping that type of feel. So he's definitely doing things that the original artist did that were very unique, and that does help. And like I said, this is still really good artwork on a great, a well-written comic, but it's not as great as it was in the first story arc. Now, I'm really hoping that this is a temporary thing, just to give the artist a break before the next story arc that he's on, because I just love him on doing Wonder Woman stories. So I do want to make that very clear. So for me, this is an important issue for me, because I thought to myself, okay, a different artist, am I going to be able to adjust, because I was so much loving Wonder Woman with that first team. It does help that the writer is still here, and it does help that this artist is trying to emulate the art. It's just, like I said, it's not as good. But I do want to make that very, very clear. But with that said, I do like this new story arc. I do like Poseidon here. I do like this look. It's very unique. I probably could do without the catfish whiskers, but I can see where they're going with this. And I think it's very unique, and I do enjoy this very much. I still think Wonder Woman is one of the best DCU comics out there. And definitely it continues the excellence in writing. And the story artwork is still extremely strong. It just doesn't have that incredible flavor that the original artist had. But I am still enjoying the heck out of it, and I definitely think this is a great book. And it is a very strong, honorable mention from me. Next up here is a book where I could probably clearly say that if this team ever left this book, that this book would not be the same. Batwoman number 5 is a book that is so good and so distinct with its art style and writing that if anyone else did Batwoman, it would not be the same comic. This team forever has to stay with Batwoman for it to be the must-read comic that it currently is. This possibly could be the best book being put out by DC. Again, every time this comic comes out, the artwork is just so good that you forget you're reading a single issue and you think you're reading a graphic novel. And that is taking nothing away from the writing, because this character is such a complex character that you have to have a writer that knows her, that can express her, that can lead you on this story with her. And again, this is the only writer that I can ever imagine writing Batwoman. I know that this team loves this character, and they have definitely owned the character. And where you have Batman, that can really be done by so many different teams. In my opinion, Batwoman can never be done by anyone else but this artist and this writer. This is definitely some of the best comic writing that I've ever read. And every time this comes out, like X-Force, I am just blown away with the quality on all parts. The color, the penciler, the writer, all is done on such a white hot level that I'm just enjoying this and knowing that I am experiencing great storytelling. And this reminds me also that comic books are their own art form, because this is a type of writing and experience that you really can only have in comic books. This type of writing and artwork really shows that if you read comics, you are truly reading a very unique art style. Batwoman number 5 is excellence, and the only reason this was not my pick of the week, which is actually 3 weeks, is because of this next book, and that is Batman number 5. Now, why is Batman number 5 better than Batwoman? Well, it isn't better than Batwoman, but Batwoman is always great. What really, makes this stand out is here's a super team, probably second only to the team doing Justice League, which of course Lee and Johns. But this is Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, who have taken the Batman book and have made this truly the must-read Batman book in the DCU. And there's a lot of those, but this is truly the flagship Batman book. I love Scott Snyder's writing, and I love Capullo's artwork. So up to this point, it's been extremely good, and I've loved every issue. But why this becomes my pick of the week is because everything that you've read up to this point, this is very similar to how I felt Justice League number 5 was. Everything you've been reading up to this point leads you to this issue, and all the payoff is between these pages, cover to cover payoff for everything that they've been building up for the past 4 issues, all given to you in its glory. And if you've been reading the series and thinking it's great, you have no idea until you read this just how great this run is. First of all, the artwork is absolutely great. I have never seen Batman look better. Also, it's unique. Now, I won't over-explain the comic, but basically, he's in a maze, and this particular room shows all the people that have died in this maze. And this foe that Batman is up against is one of the best foes I've ever seen put against such a formidable a hero as Batman is. It's almost like, it reminds me of like I'm not really a James Bond fan, but I always remember that one, I can't remember the name of the movie, where the world's greatest assassin is pitted against 007 on the Assassin's Island, and he goes into that maze of mirrors, and it's like a hunting game. Well, that's very much what this is like, except for it's much, much better. You have him in this maze, and he's put to his breaking point. But here's a really cool point: is he's in the maze, and you're kind of being, usually it's the artist that really draws you through the pacing of where the character is and how confused he is and how he feels. But this is done in a great way because it's also the artist here that is pulling us through. You're reading it like this, and then you're reading it like this, and you have to turn the book. And as you're reading it like this, and it goes on and on. You then completely turn the book upside down. The book is now upside down. You're reading an upside down book. That is just such a great idea, and it's done so well. Again, it's just put at the perfect points, and you don't even notice that his character is upside down. The stuff that Batman's going through is very upside down, and you are literally upside down. So good. I just spoiled something there, but so very good. This was a absolutely fantastic comic, and it well deserves my pick of the week. Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, master job. I am blown away. Thank you so much for doing such a great comic. And that is my pick of the week. And these are my honorable mentions. And I would love to hear you guys and hear from you, and let me know which of these comics was really your favorite. Have you been reading all these comics? Have you been blown away by these particular titles like I have? And did you think that the turning of the art and comic as you're reading it was as cool as I did? Please let me know. And with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.